Is it done? I think it's done.
Yeah, they might have.
And then,
Alright, I gotta hit down.
Moments after Jacksonville rapper Ksoo received his final sentence, life in prison with no bail, cameras captured the heartbreaking moment he broke down in tears. Not out of fear for prison, but from the unbearable pain of knowing it was his own father who testified and sealed his fate. A reaction not of weakness, but of raw betrayal. This is the full story behind that emotional breakdown, the twist of betrayal, and what it truly means when your own blood turns on you. Please do not forget to like this video, share and subscribe to this channel if you want more updates like this. Thank you. Now, let's get back into the video. The courtroom had already fallen silent. The gavel had dropped. The sentence was in: life imprisonment, no possibility of parole, no second chance, no bail, and no way out. Everyone expected Ksoo, born Hakeem Robinson, to take it like he always had, cold, hardened, emotionless. But what happened next was something no one saw coming. As the judge laid down the ruling, and the bailiffs began to cuff him for the final time, Ksoo broke. His body tensed. His head dropped. His chest heaved. And then the tears came. Caught on camera, the one stone-faced rapper, infamous for his gritty street lyrics and savage reputation, was seen visibly shaking, eyes drenched, unable to hold back the wave of emotion crashing through him. But let's be clear, this wasn't fear of jail. This wasn't a reaction of a man scared to do time. This was a reaction of a son destroyed by betrayal. Because the person who helped bury him under that life sentence wasn't the prosecutor. It wasn't the judge. It wasn't even the system. It was his own father. Let that sink in. Imagine staring down the rest of your life in a concrete cell, knowing that the one man who should have protected you from the world was the very one who handed you over to it. This is more than just another courtroom drama. This is a family tragedy of biblical proportions. And for Ksoo, that moment where he cracked under the weight of it all was the real sentencing. Not the life term, not the handcuffs, but the realization that his bloodline betrayed him. People watching the footage are divided. Some say he had it coming, that his choices led to this. Others can't help but feel the sting of injustice. Not because he's innocent, but because he didn't go down on evidence alone. He went down because his father made a deal, a plea, a pact with the state. And when he testified, when he pointed across the courtroom and said, "That's him," he didn't just lock up his son, he shattered him. This case has captured attention for months, but the emotional toll on Ksoo is just now being seen. From the moment his father, Abdul Robinson Sr., took the stand and confirmed his son's role in the 2020 murder of Charles Lil Buck McCormick Jr., the narrative changed. Suddenly it wasn't about guilt or innocence. It was about trust, loyalty, family, and ultimately destruction. Abdul Robinson Sr., facing decade behind bars himself, decided to save his own skin. And what did it cost him? His son's freedom, his legacy, his soul. He claimed it was about his health, his younger kids, and needing a second chance at life. But let's call it what it is. A betrayal, wrapped in fear, delivered in court like a final blow. So when that final sentence came, life without parole, Ksoo didn't cry because he was afraid. No, he cried because he realized that this was final. His father really did it. The man who raised him, taught him, and stood by him through the dirt, just ended it all with a few words and a plea deal. Think about what it means to have your freedom stolen, not by your enemies, but by your own family. The hurt, the confusion, the rage, all rolled into one final moment, right there in front of the world. Cameras caught what music never could. The raw, unfiltered reaction of a man whose life was crushed by the people he once trusted the most. This is a story about consequences, sure, but more than that, it's a story about what happens when family goes too far. The streets may be cold, but this betrayal? This is colder than anything. Didn't expect mercy from the judge. He didn't expect sympathy from the jury. But he damn sure didn't expect to be backstabbed by the man who helped bring him into this world. And what now? Ksoo's fate is sealed. There's no bail, no retrial, no redo. Appeals might be filed, sure, but with a state star witness being his own father, the odds are near impossible. He'll wake up tomorrow in prison, and the day after that, and the day after that, and he'll remember every single day that it didn't have to end like this. That maybe, just maybe, if his father had stayed solid, things could have been different. Let's not forget what kind of message this sends to the streets. That even blood isn't thicker than pressure. That even fathers can break. And when they do, they don't just crumble themselves. They destroy everything around them. The court might have sentenced Ksoo, but it was Abdul Robinson Sr. who wrote the final chapter. And when Ksoo broke down, when the tears came, it wasn't weakness. It was mourning. Mourning the death of trust. The death of his family. The death of everything he believed in. Fans online are torn. Some show love, saying free Ksoo and flooding timelines with crying emojis and heartbreak. Others call it karma. But deep down, even the haters can't deny that there's something unnatural, something deeply wrong, about a father doing this to his son. In hip-hop, we've seen betrayal before. We've seen friends flip, crews implode, artists turn on each other. But a father? That's rare. That's sacred ground that's been stomped on and burned. And the ripple effect is massive. Ksoo's tears weren't just his own. They were symbolic of something bigger, of a culture where loyalty is dying, where survival comes at the cost of everything else, where even family can be the enemy. And where do we go from here? Ksoo's behind bars. His music may fade. His legacy will now be split in two, before the trial and after betrayal. His name will be forever linked not just to street beefs and lyrics, but to one of the most heartbreaking collapses in recent memory. Meanwhile, his father still sits behind his own bars, awaiting his own outcome, probably wondering if the deal he made was worth it. And maybe that's the real story here. Not just that Ksoo was sentenced, not just that he cried, but that a man gave up everything to save himself and, in the end, saved nothing. Because you don't win when you sell out your own son. You don't win when you break a family. You don't win when your survival comes with a soul-crushing cost. Ksoo's tears told the truth. They said everything he couldn't say out loud. That it hurts. That it cuts deeper than any sentence. That betrayal is the real-life sentence. And now, all we can do is watch as this young man, once full of music and fire, sits behind a wall, left to think about how everything unraveled. About how no matter how tough you are, no matter how real you keep it, you're never prepared for your own blood to pull the trigger on your life. This wasn't just a sentence. This was a funeral. For family, for loyalty, for trust. And Ksoo? He cried because he finally knew he was never truly safe. Not even in his own house. Not even with his own father. That's not just sad. That's terrifying. And it's a reality no one deserves.